Right now?
Yeah, right into the game.
Hi, I'm Paula Finley. You're watching Game On with Jeff and Paul. I don't want to be mean.
No, it's just us. We'll like it.
Hi, I'm Paula Finley. I can swim, bike, and run, and probably newscast better than Jeff and Paul.
George.
It's Game On!
Tonight, we get an island look at the Stanley Cup party with the Boychucks.
The Highlanders are playoff bound. We look back at their doubleheader weekend.
And Bret the Hitman Hart steps into the ring for a quick shift. It's Game On.
Game On is brought to you by Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC. Here for you and in your community on the Old Island Highway.
Hello and welcome to the show we call Game On. My name's Paul. That would be Jeff.
Hello.
We've got another jam-packed half hour for you tonight.
Yes, my friends, from the Shamrocks to the Highlanders, we have you covered. But first, we start with the Stanley Cup. And yes, there's a reason why. There's an island connection, Paul.
Yes, there is. Thank you very much, Jeff. And it's nearly been 2 weeks since the Boston Bruins won the Stanley Cup, but there's one Victoria resident who's still boasting with B's pride. David Boychuk is a BC boy who bleeds Bruins, but you can't really blame him. His brother Johnny is on the team.
The Bruins are NHL champions.
It's a night most British Columbians would like to forget.
I put lots of awesome pictures always on my desktop.
But for Victoria's David Boychuk, it was unforgettable. Watching his little brother Johnny hoist the Stanley Cup was the proudest moment of his life.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and there's a very few population that are able to be a part of that history, so it's very lucky.
But David didn't just get to watch the celebrations, he was a part of them, getting an all-access pass to go on the ice with the team and celebrate in the room afterwards.
It was cool to be a part of that because we were in the room with the guys, getting completely soaked with champagne and beer, loving life, drinking out of the cup, hoisting it. It was an incredible feeling. I can honestly say that beers have never tasted better than coming out of that Stanley Cup that night.
Somebody's
Johnny
taking
Boychuk is
the lid
biting-
off a bottle with
Biting
their
the lid
teeth.
off. That's a twist off.
And despite it being a long night with lots of beers, David was able to pick up a little bit of swag from the dressing room, which he now proudly positions around his house.
I'm going to keep it forever, and whenever I look at the towel or the hats, I'll always think of that moment where my younger brother is lifting the Stanley Cup and is really fulfilling his dream.
This is the reward right here. Look at these guys going crazy.
And the party didn't stop after the last drop of champagne. David and his parents went to a Bruins after party at the Lucic residence, while Johnny and his teammates went home to celebrate, where they racked up a bill for over $150,000.
They've won the cup. They have the right to party it up. They've been good boys and men for the past 2 months and staying focused, and I think everybody kind of needs a release. They definitely partied enough in Boston. The big bottle, which was the most expensive part I hear, was comped.
Blurry nights aside, June 15th was a very special day for the entire Boychuk family, seeing one of their own do something that every hockey player can only dream of.
I don't think you can really describe that feeling when you're at the proudest moment for a sibling or a family member in your life. Everything he's worked for, everything from since he was a little boy playing where me and my brothers heckled him and made him shoot extra pucks, everything that led up until that point helped him to win the Stanley Cup.
And even though Boychuk bleeds Bruins, there is a silver lining, Vancouver fans. David believes next year it will be the Canucks who get the experience of a lifetime.
This portion of Game On brought to you by Sopranos Bar and Grill, where fans gather before and after the game.
Thank you, Paul. To the floor now, where the Victoria Shamrocks had a busy weekend, back-to-back games against a couple of tough clubs from the mainland. And after losing to first-place New Westminster on Thursday, the boys rebounded for a big win at the Bear on Friday night. Yes, the Rocks welcomed the Maple Ridge Burrards to the Bear, and Reese Dutch was a man possessed, picking up 8 points in a 15-10 win. 10 games into the season, the Rocks sit in second place with a record of 6 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. With just 8 games remaining in the regular season, it looks like the Rocks will be battling New West for the league title. Should be an exciting finish to the year, as many people are saying this is the most complete Shamrock team in a very long time.
Game On Lacrosse Highlights, brought to you by Jenner Chevrolet Corvette Buick GMC.
Go Rocks, go. All right, well, it's time for this week's edition of Island Shoutout, doing things a little differently this week and talking NHL draft.
Yeah, why not? That is right. A big-time shout-out to Victoria Grizzlies forward and star Joel Lowry, who was drafted 140th overall by the Los Angeles Kings on Saturday. Joel is the son of former NHLer Dave. Joel, a very good player, so was Dad.
Meanwhile, Port Alberni native Laurent Boissat was chosen 164th overall by the Flames. Maybe a future for the Flames behind Mika Kiprusoff. Well done, boys.
And remember, if you have any photos or video of something sports-related, get it to your little buddies right here.
Yeah, there's two ways that you can do that. You can email us, gameon@checknews.ca, or give us a call, 480-3700.
Coming up, it was an important weekend for the Victoria Highlanders. See how they fared after a short break.
That's right, and we have a quick shift with Brett the Hitman Hart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to stick around for that. More Game On right after the break.
I hope you beat Mike up. Welcome back.
Oh, hey, I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
Yours, Aaron.
No,
you go.
ahead.
You
All
go.
right.
You
Welcome
go.
back to Game On. Remember to stick around for our sports gauge when triathlete Paula Finlay stops by.
Now it's my line.
You go.
All right, very nice young lady. She's tearing up the ITU series right now. But first, I'll let you talk again as we talk a little soccer.
That is right, Paul. Thank you very much. And to say it's been an up and down season for the Victoria Highlanders would be an understatement. The club has rebounded from just one win in their first 5 games to sit on the verge of the playoffs after a great month of June. Magic Michael Walker explains.
When the Victoria Highlanders took to the pitch for a pair of games at Bear Mountain Stadium this weekend, it was with a clear goal in mind.
Came into this weekend looking to get 6 points because we're working for that second playoff spot.
After a 1-0 win over the Abbotsford Mariners Saturday, coupled with a 4-2 defeat of the Tacoma Tide Sunday, this roller coaster season has carried Victoria into sole possession of second place in the PDL's Northwest Division.
It was really just a big effort with the heart. Everyone just had to battle and push through it and make sure that we came out on top. We knew we were the better team, and we just had to prove it, and we did.
I really give the guys a lot of credit for the work they did preparing for these games, and obviously the execution of the game plan today.
When you consider they started the season with 7 out of 8 games on the road, there's really no surprise the Highlanders stumbled out of the gate this summer, but now the squad is hitting its stride, and the timing couldn't be better.
They can see that they're starting to gel as a team, and there's a lot of chemistry on this team, and there's a lot of depth right now. I think right now they're feeling very comfortable and very confident with their play.
Playoffs are absolutely our goal this year, and we need to achieve that goal at all costs. So everybody's got the same goal going forward.
So with only 2 Northwest Division teams qualifying for the playoffs and just 4 games left on the schedule, Friday's final road game of the year in Vancouver will go a long way towards determining the playoff picture.
The table's really close between the 3 teams, and it's really, you have to worry about yourself. If you're winning the games, you're putting yourself in the best chance that you can to make the playoffs.
If we play as we can to our potential, I think we can beat any team in this league.
All right, thank you, Mike. Best of luck to the white and gold next weekend.
Well, not very often that we here at Czech Sports get to go toe-to-toe with a WWE champion, but Brett, the Hitman Hart, was in town over the weekend, and Mike Walker caught up with him for a quick shift.
All right, here for another quick shift with the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Brett, the Hitman Hart. Your favorite wrestler of all time?
Archie the Stomper Goldie.
Oh, I like that. That's going way back. How about your favorite city to perform in or to do a show in?
I think Montreal.
Why is that?
I always loved the city. I always had a great time before the show, after the show, and the wrestling fans there were just diehard fans. There was wrestling before they ever heard of me, and I think I carried on the tradition the way they want me to.
Your favorite match, is there one moment in your career that really stands out?
My greatest moment will probably be the first time I won the title. But I mean, I won the title at least 5 times in WWE, and they're all pretty sweet.
For me, growing up watching wrestling, it was always Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Is that, in your mind, one of the best rivalries in wrestling?
I don't know of one that was bigger. I mean, we took it about a rivalry, but as far as you could take a rivalry.
Yeah. A guy like you must have had some great nicknames growing up and going through school.
I had a nickname when I was a little kid. They used to call me the Little Bull.
Okay. That seems fitting, though.
I used to, I think, butt everybody all the time.
How many pairs of those trademark pink glasses did you go through in your career?
Probably a million. I don't know. I went through a lot of them.
I think you were number 39 on the list of greatest Canadians a few years ago. Fair to say the toughest Canadian of all time?
I wish, but no. I think there's maybe GSP.
Okay, that's fair. Some might argue that, though.
I won't.
Okay, sounds fair. Last question I want to ask you. What would it take for some of these people here today, maybe me, to get into a sharpshooter with you? I feel like it would take a lot.
Yeah, I'm not going to be putting anyone in sharpshooter.
And that's probably good for me. This has been another quick shift with
best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Bret the Hitman Hart.
I would have loved to see Mike in a sharpshooter.
Oh.
That's too bad.
Yeah, me too. But here's something that is just as good.
What's that?
It's our Plays of the Week.
Plays of the Week is brought to you by Spank Hit Sports, BC's largest selection of soccer, rugby, and football stuff.
All right, let's kick things off on the slopes. Wait a minute. It's the final week of June, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Mount Washington will be open for Canada Day weekend as well. What a year up on the hill.
That's right. Sure Sign Summer's back. Good old CFL is back. Yeah. Leo's ready to go. Check out a nice little pick from Corey Banks. Hey, Alouettes, you're in trouble this Thursday.
Yeah, riders will be better. To the pitch and long distance drive.
Oh,
yep.
Wow.
That's Canada's goaltender with a strike from coast to coast. Unbelievable.
Nice. Summer's always a good time for our national game. Here's another look at a dandy from Reese Dutch of the Shamrocks. 8 points in one game. That's crazy.
He's good.
Yes.
Not forget the Timbermen up in Harbor City. A tough year so far, but that doesn't mean they can't get a pretty goal or two. Cale Radcliffe getting it done.
Yeah, to the All England Club, a little tennis, and this is just a great rally back and forth. Andy Murray pulling up to the net, then goes back to the baseline, taps it in.
Nice.
Looking good in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I don't see this a lot on the motorbike racing circuit, but you'll never see this twice in your lifetime. 2 racers go down during the 4th stop in the 2011 French Road Racing Cup. Their throttles get locked together.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even. All the bikes just go by.
Yeah,
and
they're
their
just
bike's
spinning around.
Wow, that's pretty ridiculous.
360s.
All right.
Yeah. All right, wrapping up with a true summer sport for the waters off Clover Point. Kite surfers are out, getting it done, getting some big air, and they are on Game On's Plays of the Week.
Oh, what a treat for them. All right, coming up, we're chatting triathlon with one of the world's best, Island resident Paula Findlay.
Yes, she joins us in the sports cage, but first, here's a look at some Island standings.
Island Standings are brought to you by Robbins Parking, proudly supporting local community and events. Game On's Sports Cage is brought to you by Country Grocer. You'll feel like family.
Welcome back to Game On. You're in the sports cage with Jeff and Paul and Paula. Paula is the pretty one in the middle.
Hey.
Paula Findlay. Sorry, Paula.
That's all right.
Paula Findlay, triathlete. And first of all, tell us about your year so far. It's been amazing. 3 straight wins, and you've won 5 out of 6 in the ITU circuit. So not bad.
Yeah, it's been surprising and just amazing. I couldn't have asked for more. And I've done 3 races so far this year and won all 3 that I've done. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Became the most winningest person on the ITU series. That's going to feel pretty cool. I mean, you must have watched this growing up, and now to be there and be the most winningest person, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's really cool. The WCS World Championship Series is fairly new, so it's only been around for 3 or 4 years now. So it's really cool to be able to say that. And I don't think about it, I don't feel in the same league as all these girls that I'm racing, but yeah, I guess it's it's real.
You don't feel in the same league, yet you're still winning these races? What do you mean by that?
Well, I go into the pre-race meeting seeing all these girls that I've watched on TV growing up and watched
like
the
Emma
Olympics.
Moffat, I'm sure. Is going to be someone like that. Yeah,
Emma Moffat. I get so nervous around them, and I'm shy, and I don't know what to say to them because I just have so much respect for them, and I think they're so amazing. And so to be running with them at the end of races and beating them sometimes is pretty awesome.
Beating them, as well. Tell me about, you're from Edmonton. You moved here a couple of years ago. First of all, I mean, obvious reasons, I'm sure, why you moved to Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria is the place to be for triathlons, and this is where Simon lives. This is where my coach lives, and the National Training Center is here. So there's just a lot more resources. And I grew up in Edmonton competing, and I had success there too. But I think to get to the next level, this is where I needed to be. So.
What got you into triathlon in Edmonton? I mean, you think skiing, you think anything but triathlon.
Yeah,
really, how did that come about?
I was a swimmer since I was 11 and started running track in high school, and my track coach actually also is a triathlon coach. So he saw the potential because I was a swimmer and a runner, and sort of put them both together, and I got a road bike for Christmas, and that's where I started. So.
You're doing this.
Yeah.
What was it like coming to train with a guy like Simon Whitfield? Because I mean, you mentioned about watching someone like Emma Moffat growing up, but I mean, Simon was kind of the pinnacle of the sport. He brought it to everyone's attention, really, at the Sydney Olympics. So what's it like coming to train with someone like that, and not just training with him, but really getting to know him? Because I know you guys are a pretty tight-knit community.
And a teammate, I guess, as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. I see Simon the same way I see the Emma Moffats and the Emma Snowsills.
Really, yeah.
I still feel like that.
Really?
And it's really cool to be able to train beside him and, get advice from him and learn from him. And I don't train with him all the time. We have different coaches, but when we do have the opportunity to a few times a week, it's pretty awesome. And I know that he's there as a resource if I have any questions, and he's so experienced and knowledgeable about everything triathlon. So
now, I wouldn't say you came out of nowhere, but in the last 2 years, I mean, last year it was like, wow, this Paula Findlay won a race, and then you just kept winning these races. So was there a change for you? Was there a culture change? Like, well, what happened that you really turned into this machine that could just start winning these races?
I think, I don't know, a lot of people say that I came out of nowhere, but really it was my transition from junior to under 23. And I got a medal at under 23 World Championships, and that was kind of my introduction to international level, where I said, well, I can maybe be competitive on the international scene. So from that, I did 1 year racing WCS races, kind of 15th, 16th place, and after that, I just was more consistent with my running. I was less injured. I came to Victoria. I took a little bit of focus off of school and more focus on triathlon, and I think just all those pieces put together.
It's the process.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell me about traveling the world, because I mean, that's sort of, you're 23 years old, you're getting this opportunity to travel the world. Tell me about that. Are your parents nervous for you, or are you nervous traveling the world, or I guess you're with your teammates, but.
Yeah, I haven't actually traveled alone to any of these races. I have an awesome supportive group that always comes with us, so I don't get nervous traveling at all. I do dislike the actual travel part, the airplanes, the packing my bike. We have 3 bags each that are all over 50 pounds, so it's a lot of stuff to haul around, and it can be exhausting. And the World Championship Series, most of the races are based in Europe, so we do get to travel around Europe a lot, and Australia and Asia. There's a few races in Asia this year, so I realize that I get to travel a lot more than people my age, and I'm lucky for that. So.
Now, one place you're going to be is in London in 2012, and I mean, looking ahead to that, where do you look in? Because I was interested to hear that you go into races not really expecting to win, just kind of being happy to be there, and then what happens on race day happens. But do you go in there with a different mindset? Do you go in there just say, this is another race, or I mean, how do you attack the Olympics, I guess?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been before, so I don't.
But the course you'll be racing in London is the Olympic course.
It is, Right. So this year going into London, I'll be the defending champion, I guess, from last year's race. So I do try to approach each race the same way and not think about the past, because every race is different and every girl is competitive, and so you never know what's going to happen on the day. I have no control over my competitors, so I just have control over what I do myself. So I just prepare the same way. I try to have the same lead up to the race, and I know how my body should feel 3 days out, 2 days out, 1 day out, and I know if I'm on track. So
it's that process.
Yeah, exactly. So
are there nerves in there? I mean, there's a lot of pressure on you to go get that gold medal for Canada at the Olympics, right?
Absolutely, there's nerves. I'm one of the most nervous people in the world. Yeah, I get really freaked out. And it's kind of going away a bit now that I'm racing more on the circuit, and I'm getting a bit more comfortable with the pre-race meetings and the whole build-up and the media attention. And there is a lot of pressure, but I've sort of learned to manage it a little bit better now. So
just how much are you guys training? Because I think it's people at home don't really understand how often you guys are out there. Like, walk me through a typical day of training, and you guys are doing this every day, right?
Yeah, it's our full-time job, all of us, and we really train like sunrise to sunset. It's crazy, but we wake up in the morning and go swimming at either Commonwealth Pool or Thetis Lake, depending on the season.
And that's about like 6 a.m.?
No, we start at 7:30. So
nice.
We get to sleep in a bit. That's
making it sound easy.
Luxurious. Yeah. So we finish with about a 90-minute swim, an hour and 45 minutes or so, and then we go home, eat, and have a nap, and then the afternoon session is usually either a hard run workout or a hard bike workout, followed by a easy run or an easy bike. So we're doing all three each day, but sort of the intensity is different depending on which day it is. So.
Where is the sport right now as far as it going into the future? Because I know we're very strong with you and, with guys like Simon coming up, but where is it, 5-10 years down the road?
I think there's a lot more juniors right now than there is when I was a junior, and more competitive than when I was a junior too.
Really?
So it definitely is growing, and I think there's a lot of people coming from swimming backgrounds and swimming backgrounds who can run, and that's sort of how I became a triathlete too, and that's a great way to get into the sport. So there's an awesome development group in Victoria, and Edmonton actually just started the Edmonton Triathlon Academy, and they brought in an international coach for that, and they have a lot of junior and up and comers there. So it's a growing sport, and I think having people like Simon and hopefully people watching my races can say, well, I can do that too. I came from Edmonton and I was just an average swimmer, and now look where I am. So anyone can do it. It's like a lot of hard work, but
nice. Well, we're average swimmers, so maybe we could do it.
We're average everything.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not really that great at anything. So tell me about being number one ranked in the world right now on the ITU circuit, heading into an Olympic year. I guess what do you just try and keep improving and not get injured? Is that and keep your mind off the Olympics, or are you thinking about the Olympic year, or where's your mindset at?
I'm thinking about the Olympic year, and I haven't actually qualified for the Canadian team yet, so I don't like saying, I'm going 100% sure, but things are looking like
they look pretty good.
Like I'm going to go. So if I am lucky enough to make the team, and I really hope I go, then all of next year will be focused towards that race, and they'll still have the World Championship Series, and they'll still be big races, but I think everyone's focus is going to be that one race on that one day. So the season will be a bit different. I'll probably race a bit less earlier on in the year, just to make sure that I'm peaked for that one day. Yeah.
Well, treat having you in here today. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Wow, what a treat. Paula Findlay, and good luck through the rest of the year, and we'll hopefully see you with a medal around your neck next year in London as well. And that is another edition of Game On, of course, each and every Monday night, 7 o'clock at 10:30 right here on Check 6. It is Game On.